Okay, you can be mad at me if you want. You can say that I'm some sort of jinx, but ultimately, uh, I have predicted the Bills to be 2-2 up to this point, technically, and that's exactly what they are. I may have picked every single game wrong individually, but I still got the record right. Okay, so get off my back about it. It's not my fault that the referees threw 17 flags against the Bills, and however many more that probably got picked up. I don't know. It's not my fault. Stop blaming me. Because it's just not my fault. Bottom line, it's not my fault. If it goes the whole season that way, it's my fault. Okay? If we get to like week 10 and the same trend is still happening, it's my fault. Okay? There you go. 10 games. 10 games, if I've picked the opposite every single one, double digits, there you go. Me. It's on me. Bills lost to the Giants 24-10, a day in which they just beat the hell out of themselves. I already mentioned 17 penalties. 7 of those penalties gave the Giants free first downs. 2 other penalties took away 14 points, and they lost by 14. It was such a headache throughout the day. They missed a field goal. They went 0 for 3 in the red zone. The terrible goal-to-go situation. Talk about that real quick, I guess. I believe it started first and goal at the 9. They ran it up to the 5 or something like that with Carlos. Then they threw 3 times, which was a little weird. But the one play to Woods, Tyrod just has to get rid of the ball quicker. Clearly, like, he had him on the rollout, and he just kept running and taking away part of the field that Woods would have used to score, and he let the defensive back close in. That's on Tyrod. Tyrod tried to run it in off the right side, didn't make it. And then on 4th and goal, this was the pinnacle to me. On 4th and goal, they try a swing pass to Carlos. Now, I don't know if that was the original look, and if you look at it right away, I can see why, from an all-22 type of view, you can see why Tyrod might think that's the play. Felton was about to be open because the linebacker was cutting across Felton to get to Carlos because he saw where Tyrod was, but the point of that is you threw short of the end zone on 4th and goal at the 2. You're at the 2, maybe 3-yard line, and you throw a pass not in the end zone. Okay. Throw the ball into the paint. That was by far my least favorite play call of the day. By far. Those were the difference. That was the difference, guys. The penalties and the red zone efficiency or deficiency, if that's the way you want to look at it. The game was otherwise near identical. Let me hit you with some stats. Time of possession was nearly even. I think the Bills had 29.5 minutes or something like that. The Bills outgained the Giants by 10 yards, 313 to 303. First downs, not from penalties. Not from penalties. The Bills had 13. The Giants had 12. The Bills ran 68 plays. The Giants ran 64. The Bills averaged 4.6 yards per play. The Giants averaged 4.7. The Bills were 3 of 16 on 3rd down. The Giants were 3 of 15. Both were intercepted once. The Bills were sacked twice. The Giants were sacked once. And average yards per pass were both at 5.9 yards. It's nearly an identical game, and the Bills lost by 2 touchdowns because of penalties and missed red zone opportunities. They didn't do much. What did the Giants do to grab the game by the throat? Nothing. They weren't like, let's go out here and win this game. They threw the 51-yard touchdown pass. Let's talk about that. To Jennings. It's I believe it's 3rd and 3. They threw a pass, just like the Bills did in a goal-to-goal situation. They threw a pass short of the sticks. They swung it out to their running back at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 3. They're basically like, oh, well, if he breaks tackle, we'll get the first down. Otherwise, we'll just punt. We don't, And he broke a tackle. And then another tackle. And then another tackle. Bradham has to make that play. Bottom line. There's no excuse for missing that tackle. Eli threw for 212 yards. 51 came on that one play to Jennings. And it's a fact that it was just, they were just, like I said, they sat back, like, we're made here. The Bills are beating themselves. So let's just not screw this up any further. And then you hear, post-game comments from Coughlin telling that Coughlin reportedly told his team that the Bills would beat themselves with penalties and stuff. Whatever. The Giants did one thing that I thought was effective, and that was they employed the same strategy as the Patriots with quick passes. They're just not as good at it. Eli averaged less than 2 seconds for a pass. Brady's just better at it. Beckham wasn't great. He was kind of a whiner. I still like him as a player. I think he's fantastic. But he had 5 catches for 38 yards for the first time in his career. He was held without a 10-plus yard reception. He had the worst reception-to-target ratio in his career. 5 receptions on 12 targets. It's the worst of his career. Worst percentage. I like the work of Stephon Gilmore and Ronald Darby. They did great. Just great on the outside. I already mentioned Nigel Bradham. He was exploited in coverage a little bit. And I'm reverting back to the penalties a little bit. But it just felt like the linebackers were exploited a little bit. Jerry Hughes will take a personal foul penalty at any time. You don't know. Preston Brown took them. Like, control yourselves, guys. I don't know what it is if maybe like the Bills, they want to be the Seattle type of defense where they just feed off the crowd and just annihilate people. At least that's what Seattle was doing. And they want to be like that. And they're just like, they're just running too hot. Settle down. And then on the road, like you only got one road game to compare it to. But they were very much relaxed. They scored 41 points. They destroyed the Dolphins, who ended up firing their coach and what have you, but whatever. So I guess we'll see what happens today. This week, of course. Because the Bills are now going onto the road to face the Titans. The Titans are coming off a bye. This is the third team in 4 weeks that has longer than a week to prepare for the Bills. That's BS. Your schedule is what it is, but that's nonsense. It's the 5th game of the year, and already you've had 3 teams with more than a week to prepare for you. Excluding week 1. Let's exclude week 1 because it's perceived that everyone has, obviously, all of training camp to get ready for that. 3 out of 4 games. Like, the Patriots played on Thursday Night Football before they played the Bills. The Giants played on Thursday Night Football before they played the Bills, and now the Titans are on the bye. And the Bills in games against teams with equal rest, 2-0. Against teams with extra rest, 0-2. Is it related? It could be. Anyway, the Titans themselves are 1-2. They destroyed Jameis Winston in week 1 and then lost at Cleveland and at home to Indianapolis. Marcus Mariota, obviously second overall pick, has been pretty impressive in his first 3 starts. He has 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, averaging 8.7 yards per attempt. His quarterback rating is well over 100. He's been impressive. He threw 4 of those touchdowns in week 1, which is half of his output, but he's still been pretty good for them. They blew it big time against Indy a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. They were up 10 in the 4th quarter, and you got to grab the game by the throat sometimes, guys. Just got to. They couldn't do it. Mariota's been sacked 12 times, though, in 3 games, and he's had a tough time against pressure. He's been pressured on 39% of his dropbacks, which is the 7th most in the league. He has been sacked nearly 30% of the time when pressured, and pressure, I believe, is... I didn't see the actual stat on this, and I apologize for just throwing out information. He's been sacked near 30% of the time when blitzed, and that's first. That's best. That's most in the league. And the Bills defense is 8th in QB pressures, 8th in the league, and Mariota only completes 48% of his passes under pressure, which is 20th in the NFL. So there you go. There's your key. The Titans, however, are still 5th in points per game. However, like I said, they thrashed Tampa Bay with 42 points. They only scored 14, I believe, against Cleveland, and then they scored 33 against Indy. But they're 9th in yards per game. They're 10th in rushing. And 10th in rushing is pretty surprising given the lack of success of individual runners. Like Bishop Sankey, Dexter McCluster, they're both over 100 yards on the season, but like they're not household names by any means. Terrence West, Antonio Andrews are even getting in the mix. They all have over 10 carries. Mariota has only 5. I mean, everyone's making this big deal of like Mariota and his legs. He's ran the ball 5 times in 3 games. That's not that much, but capable. Granted, he is capable. I get that. Their pass catchers primarily are Kendall Wright and Delaney Walker. Kendall Wright, pretty good receiver in his own right. Certainly, I wouldn't call him a game breaker. Delaney Walker, a pretty good tight end. The Bills have been vulnerable down the seam at times this year. Dwayne Harris scored a touchdown last week against them, right down the seam. Of course, Aaron Williams wasn't playing, and I think the Bills are going to benefit from that, from Aaron Williams coming back. He's just a quarterback back there, sort of. Him and Corey Graham, they're just calling out coverages. I don't know if Bakari Rambo fills the same type of role as Aaron Williams when he's out. Maybe in terms of talent, I think Aaron Williams is better than Bakari Rambo. Personally, I just view Aaron Williams in a different light. And this is no disrespect to Bakari Rambo. Don't take it the wrong way. I just think that Williams is more vocal out there, and calling out coverages and maybe protections from the offense, slides and what have you, things like that. Back to the Titans, I guess they've, like I said, 1-2. What else? They played Jameis Winston and Josh McCown, and Andrew Luck. They lost Andrew Luck, but they lost to Josh McCown and killed Jameis Winston. Tough to get a read on them. They're, like I said, 1-2, rookie quarterback. Pretty good on defense. It's tough. I'm struggling to get a good read on them because we don't really know what Indy is, and Luck's not even playing right now. So like, they were 0-2 with him, or 1-2 with him, and 1-0 without him, and now he's not playing again on Thursday Night Football. Like, what weird. We can't really figure out what they are other than apparently pretty soft. The Tampa Bay is Jameis Winston just throws the ball to defenders all the time, and you lost Josh McCown, and you lost to Josh McCown. What is he? Journeyman quarterback. It's tough. It's a beatable opponent. Bottom line, beatable opponent. This is a game you need to have if you're a serious contender in the AFC. You just have to have it. You can't lose this game. They're in serious trouble if they lose. They fall to 2-3, and they fall behind in the AFC very quickly with a loss to Tennessee. I don't know what Rex Ryan's record is against rookie quarterbacks, but I feel like he could make his life a living hell, and he should. The Bills could be probably without LaShawn McCoy again. Sammy Watkins, I don't know. My guess would be probably without him. Possibly without Carlos Williams. Booby Dixon might start at running back. Carlos Williams dealing with a concussion. That sucks. John Miller, that's one I really want back, and he's been practicing, so it looks like he's going to be back. Need him back. Urbic looked like an aging veteran out there against the Giants. Marginal holding call on him, by the way, on a Tyron touchdown. Guys, if you're blocking and a guy's reaching for the quarterback, of course it's going to look like a hold if you got it. Whatever. Think about it. He's reaching. You're not necessarily holding him. You're just preventing him from getting to the quarterback. Whatever. Prediction time. Without McCoy, possibly without Watkins, possibly without Carlos Williams, what are the Bills going to do on offense? They might be completely one-dimensional, but they're still going to beat the Titans. Yes, they are. 24-16, Bills. Hate me if you want. It's happening. Let's go, Bills. Guys, thank you for coming this far in the video. Comment, whatever, Twitter. You guys know where to find me. Go Bills.